Okay, welcome to NuPIC Sprint Planning, Sprint 26. It's just us guys at the NuMINTA offices, Subutai, Scott, Austin, and Jay, who's one of our interns this summer. And Jeff Full is online as well. I am going to share my screen. I'm constantly experimenting with different sprint planning formats, so this time I put together a recap so we wouldn't have to go over all of the closed issues from the sprint that we're closing out. So some of the major work that we got done, this is all viewable on our issues page as well. If you want to view the closed issues, that's basically where I got this. There's still ongoing work on the pip installable branch that David created. I've managed to get it installing into a local location, and it works, and waiting for others to try that. And then as soon as we can confirm that works for other people, I think we're just going to merge that and take any of the other issues that came up on that PR and turn them into new tickets for continued work, so we can finally get that PR merged. Fergal and Utensil, especially Utensil, has been working on putting in place a C++ unit test framework, which is, I think he's decided to use the Catch framework, which is C++ automated tests in the headers or something like that. It stands for something about headers, but it's better than, you tried Google Test at first, and Google Test requires you to have binaries available, and for this one you don't. So it was easier to get going. And he's already starting to port some of the tests that are currently in test everything into this Catch format, which is great work. Utensil. Catch, C-A-T-C-H. And issues, right? Yeah. I think he's got a PR. Port network tests. Oh, he's working on network tests to Catch. And that is C++ automated test cases and headers. So he is working on that. Very nice. He's already got test coverage in place. Apparently, coverage reports could be generated on our previous test runner just through with an option on the compiler. Apparently, I had no idea. So he turned that on, and we do actually have.
What is the option?
I forgot. What am I? He added it. It's I can find it actually. So in a closed PR from Utensil, there it is. It was where was it? There we go. No, I remember where it was. It was in here somewhere. CMake DNTA cov enabled, and in the CMake file. You had to add something for coverage enabled, but yeah, it was -- coverage for which, you know, that's too obvious for it to work. But it was he commented on this, on how easy it was to do.
This is very C++ coverage.
Yeah. So apparently it was simple.
Hopefully it doesn't slow the code down.
It probably does a little, but I didn't notice a difference in the builds. This is on the NuPIC core build, so those are really fast anyway.
What I mean is we are compiling all our optimized code with that.
Oh.
You know, would it run slower, or is this just for testing?
Hopefully it's just for testing.
It's an option. It's an option.
It's an option, yeah. That's a good question, though. I imagine I'm probably archiving the binary that was made with this, so the binary I'm archiving and using in the regression test suite probably will slow down a bit. But it's not a major issue, but something we should wonder if I could fix later. So anyway, we actually have coverage reports now on NuPIC core, 43% coverage. So that's cool. That was one of the major things I wanted to get done, which is nice. Back to this. Okay. So we had a discussion. I proposed remove OSX builds from our matrices, which sped things up a lot. Those are just failing too often, and I'm thinking now about how to get those in, maybe in a secondary pipeline process or something like that. But I did end up removing them. Yeah, I talked about the core coverage. I did a lot of work on the tooling server in preparation for some major work that will come later that should simplify how a lot of our pipeline integration works. Right now it always calls out to the shell and expects Git to be installed and certain repos to be checked out, and that's all very messy. So I did a lot of NuPIC tooling cleanup. I updated the numenta.org media page, which was pretty messy, so I think I have that organized a little bit better now. And it's only got sort of professional media, not necessarily our tutorials, just things from other organizations where Jeff gives a presentation or Jeff is interviewed and things like that, with links on top too. If you want videos about specific details, go to these places. Also did a little work on some of our satellite repos like Fluent. We added a Travis build and a unit test hook, and then one of our interns, Barrage, added a bunch of unit tests, which was nice. And I updated PySep to auto-deploy to PyPy whenever a release tag was pushed. We added a new repository that's we'll talk about in our next open office hour called NuPIC Geospatial. We may change the name of that and just got that up and running with a Travis build and unit test framework, but no real unit tests. And then quite a few bug fixes. If you look through the closed issues, quite a few bug fixes popped up. Close this stuff. Okay, so that's what we got done. Quite a bit of stuff. And so the Sprint 26 plan, I really want to get this pip installable merged. I think we can do that soon. It's become pretty obvious from the questions I've been getting in IRC or over email that we need documentation for CLA model and model factory. There's a lot of really common tasks like create model or save or load from checkpoint that just aren't documented anywhere easily found. And those should be documented in our automated API docs. So we've got some tickets for that, and someone on IRC already started working on it.
So there's a base class for models in the OPF, so that's where the API would be defined, I guess, would be documented.
Yeah, and we could also document the subclasses.
The specific subclasses as well.
Yeah.
And they can get that all from the generic OPF design document. They can pull out all of that stuff.
Okay. Utensil will be continuing to work on unit test, kind of moving from the old framework to the Catch framework, and he's putting together a wiki with instructions on how to create those types of tests. It's a bit of a behavior-driven test framework, if you're familiar with that. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's pretty easy to write tests in that way. It's just a different way of defining what the tests are testing. So we've had some discussions about this NuPIC and Solaris integration, so we might get some more traction from Austin to work on that this coming sprint, which should be good. And I have a task to work a bit on the wallboard because I find myself using certain components of it a lot, but never using the main page anymore because it's just too cluttered. It's not useful anymore, so I wanted to just clean it up a bit, and then start working on regression tests. So we have a regression test suite. I was hoping we could get some examples of more regression tests that we can put into that suite, because right now there's only one, and all it does is, I think, run the hotgem anomaly example and assert that the anomalies don't occur after a certain point in time, which is not really very robust. So that is sort of the plan. So Sprint 25 open issues, just a quick review. I'm not going to move all of these through. I've got a couple of issues that are currently in the works, and probably just move those behind the scenes after we're done with this meeting into Sprint 26. However, there is some, like this one, investigate GitLab CI. I did, and it seems to me like I'm sort of investigating different CI options because Travis is a bit slow, and there's no way for us to get any dedicated resources at all. So I investigated, what was it, Circle CI and another this CI option, but this is kind of like a GitHub replacement. So if you move to GitLab instead of GitHub, you'll get their CI as well. And I don't necessarily want to move away from GitHub at this point. At least that's the way I read it. I didn't see how I could do it without kind of taking it.
I wonder if you could mirror GitHub to GitLab.
I wonder.
Everything that goes from GitHub to GitLab is run.
Maybe so. But the bad thing about moving to another CI is that we're all already totally integrated with GitHub's hooks or Travis's hooks and stuff. So all that stuff would have to be reworked, and they're not all exactly the same. Like Circle CI has a little bit different webhook interface than Travis does. So I might give up on this. I might not. Okay, implement pure temporal memory, which is currently called the TP, close to the white paper description, something that Chetan is going to be working on. So we'll definitely move that over. And NuPIC core, continuing work on C++ unit tests. They are already generating XUnit style reports in Utensils branch, so he's well on his way there. Utensils also looking into another CI option for .NET builds called app conveyor that we may be able to kind of tag on to our current build process or pipeline, so that we can get a Windows build at some point in the future that's not necessarily a step in our pipeline, but kind of an additional thing, maybe attached to a Windows build branch or something like that. Some more things that Chetan added, get neighbors, returning duplicates. I think this has been around for a while. Well, not too long, but I think we'll keep this in because I don't know what Chetan wants to do with it. Optimize get package dir function. I think this is this has been. Oh, he's already got something merged about it. So I don't know what the status of this is. I'll have to check. This says it solves 114, yet it's not closed because he used the wrong keyword. So let's close this. All right. That's simple. NuPIC core builds on Solaris, assigned to Austin. This region implementation factory, David will start work on as soon as we get the pip thing merged. This is the same, within the same boat, changes to region implementation factory. I have some tasks to work on the tooling server, nothing serious. And then for the this NAB, which is NumInta anomaly benchmarks, I don't know what the status of this ticket is. Ian created it. And I don't actually know what it means. Does it mean we need two builds and to compare them? That's going to be a little bit hard to do in an automated fashion. So I'll try and catch up with Ian on this and see if it's something he really thinks is important to do or not, because it's probably going to take a bit of work. And then there's these kind of dangling Linux 64 and Darwin 64 issues, Austin. If those aren't priorities, I think we should just pull them off to the backlog. I think I'd rather see you work on the Solaris stuff.
Yeah, none of those look familiar to me. Well, I mean, I created them, but none of them are really holding anything back.
Yeah, that's
the fact that build's still in there is not hurting anything.
It's not hurting anything. Okay, so I'm gonna clear some of these as we go. The rest of them, I think I will probably let's just go to our current issues, current milestone, and move them all over into 26. Same thing with core. Okay, not a whole lot of issues got left. We're doing pretty good cleaning up our issues. We used to have a lot more issues, and our open PRs are much there were much less open PRs. I'm not sure why they're open. Oh, I just moved those over. So there's only 7 open PRs that aren't in the backlog. This one is brand new. This one's been around for a while, and I'm still waiting on Mark to work on it. So it's sort of getting older and older. I might try and prod him to either fix it up or close it off. Of course, the pip installable one, and then this anomaly modular. Maybe we could get a status on that. I think we're hung on Mark again. Yeah. This is the catch unit test framework. This revert, the remove NTA, needs to be merged immediately before the pip installable. This needs to be merged, then pip installable will get updated to use the current NuPIC core SHA that one introduces, and then we'll merge the pip installable. That's the plan. Yeah, that's it. So where was I? Back to, let's go back to all. And, okay, still have, should be updated. One more PR. Did you ever intend on merging this, Austin? Or was this just a branch that you were working on?
I'm surprised it's still open.
I thought it was merged, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a.
I wonder if
It says
there's,
merged, wait. But no.
that's a different.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Was that just pulled?
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay. I'll keep it in 26 so you can look into it. Okay.
Because that's the old one.
Yeah. See if I missed any issues. Tools. Let's go there real quick. Let's put 25. Let's put 26. So I am just slowly moving these. And this one I'm going to pull off onto the backlog for now. All right, so that should be, we should now have Sprint 25 empty, and all of our stuff should be in Sprint 26. I have 38 open issues in Sprint 26. So I might run through here offline and prune some of these down that I know we aren't going to get to, or that are old, or need to be updated, and ping people on what should be done on them. But I don't want to do that while we're all sitting here.
I just merged that.
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason why it should be merged.
All right. Okay, what else do we have here? So I think that's it. We got 23 NuPIC issues. If we look at the assignments, most of the stuff assigned to me is tooling things. 5 unassigned issues. So if anybody's watching and wants some work, we've got several of these, a couple of newbie tasks. One says, another that says that is help wanted. And I think as soon as we merge pip installable, we can get rid of that.
Yeah, I think that one's.
Yeah. This is also something that's can be worked on at any point, the new anomaly likelihood code, but we haven't decided on how to do that, whether it's going to be part of the metrics or not. But it works as it is at some point. I don't even know if we should put this in the next sprint, because I don't think anyone's going to work on it. Why don't we pull it out? I'm starting to default to removing things from sprints that I know probably won't get done. So otherwise we have Utensil working on tests and Windows and helping with a little tooling. David, Region Implementation Factory, and all of these things are, I think, are going to be closed as soon as the pip installable merges. Okay. Mark is assigned to a couple, but I don't know what the state of those are, so I'll ping him on those. And Austin's got the Solaris, 2 Solaris issues. Chayton has a couple of SP and TP issues. And Jeff, you still have a task to improve the Wikidoc on encoders.
Yeah.
You're up for that.
I will do that as soon as I have a chance.
All right.
I also have a question about some satellite projects like Cerebro and Cerebro Server. Are those planned to be part of these sprint planning sessions, or are those just permanent sort of satellite projects? Because I know that they got their status changed recently.
Well, let's see. Do I have? I don't think I have. I think I'm tracking Fluent, but I'm not tracking Cerebro. I'll ask Chayton what he wants to do with that, with Cerebro 2 and Cerebro, because right now I think that.
I don't know if you're sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. Okay, so I think I am halfway tracking them. They're not a part of this board here, I think, if I remember correctly. Got Fluent Server, got Geospatial. I could easily add Cerebro and Cerebro 2 here, but I wanted to talk to Chayton and make sure that that's where he wanted to track the issues. But it makes sense. If anybody in the open source community is going to be working on them, they should probably be tracked where they can be seen.
Yeah, Cerebro 2, for example, has no tests, though. So
yeah,
might be something we want to start doing is unit tests. And anyway, I could talk to Chayton about it.
I think as a general rule, if it's under the NuMenta account, you probably want to track from here. And
I think that's probably the right thing to do. Yeah. So why don't I put that on my list of things to do, but it doesn't really fit anywhere. So I'm just going to take a note. So I'll. It's easy to get those incorporated into this issue tracker thing here. So actually, one of the issues that I have is to. I think it's on this one. Establish a process for adding new repos into the NuPIC fold, which includes kind of a central list of all the repositories that we should be tracking. So once I get this in place, it'll be easy just to add it to that list and make sure that the tooling server is monitoring it, the status board is monitoring it, and it's officially sort of supported by our tools. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not pushing for more support or anything on it.
Oh no, it makes sense. We're going to have probably more demo applications coming, and I want to make sure that we don't miss anything, because it's if as soon as we put them in open source, we should treat them like open source projects.
Okay.
Okay. So if any of you guys feel like you should, I missed my. I would be good. If any of you guys feel like you have any notes that you want to put it, feel free to edit this wiki page, which is just Sprint 26 planning. This sprint ends. This is kind of a weird place to have a sprint planning meeting. I think it ends. Yeah, so we've got like 2.5 weeks before for this sprint. So the next sprint planning will be on the 25th. All right. All right, guys. Anybody have any thoughts or feedback on how any of these tasks have gone? Okay.
I think right now we're the bottleneck on pip and soluble.
Yeah.
David's done his part.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get that merged soon. That'd be good. Make people happy. Make Jared happy. Make our pipelines go easier too. All right, thanks for joining in, Jeff. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye-bye.